It's a new year, and my favorite sport, football, is gearing up for its premier event. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the following ratings. Owners want answers. And I'm sure you've already heard and treaded through the muddy waters that is the anthem protest. So I want to clear up, in my opinion, the most detrimental story to the NFL this year. Defensive end for the Seattle Seahawks, Michael Bennett, lying to the police and spreading racial division on nearly every single media outlet. And the crazy thing is, he's called a hero by many. Why would the mainstream media let this happen? Well, I'm going to talk about it because I cannot let this roll over into 2018. In case you missed the original story, on August 26, 2017, the night of the Floyd Mayweather-McGregor fight, Michael Bennett claimed, quote, "Las Vegas police singled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than simply being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time," unquote. So since those mainstream outlets feel inclined to ignore the facts and revisit the new evidence that's been brought forward because it dispels their narrative of racism being so rampant that even those sworn to protect us just simply find the nearest black guy to throw in jail, I'll give you a few of the details. 1. The officers were not white. 2 Hispanic officers and a black officer were the ones that were detaining Michael Bennett. Which is why after the incident, Michael Bennett's lawyer said, quote, "Race didn't take a role in the event," unquote. But you wouldn't know that from ESPN now, would you? 2. The police were not going in to attack a black man. They were responding to an active shooter. And after the 1999 Columbine massacre, it is now common practice for police to enter the location of danger, to put their lives on the line to protect the people who would be in harm. 3. All the footage is loose now, and you can see Michael Bennett in all the footage running in the opposite direction of the police. You can literally see Michael Bennett break away from a crowd, hide behind a slot machine, and when police go up to ask him questions, he runs out the front door. They give chase. They continue to chase him down the street as he jumps over barriers. That's odd. I wonder why they tracked him down. And when you watch the video, there are plenty of black men in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing nothing wrong, that are being cooperative with the police, and Michael Bennett is sprinting down the street and jumping barriers in the opposite direction, ignoring lines from the police. 4. When he was detained, it was discovered that Michael Bennett had no ID, and if you've ever been to Las Vegas, I have no idea how that even happens. But that's why he was detained for a longer period of time, because he didn't have an ID to prove who he was. Even so, the officers took him at his word, began a Google search, and found out that he was in fact Michael Bennett. Those racists. Of course, there was no claim that there was abuse, and the officers did follow protocol and handle this extremely well. Let me ask you this. If someone accused you of something awful, like horrible, like if they accused you of rape, though it would be an awful, long, and drawn-out process, you could prove with empirical evidence that you were not actually a rapist. If someone accuses you of, say, another horrible act, like being a racist, how do you prove that you're not a racist? How do you do it? When you throw out these accusations that are despicable, being a racist is despicable, there are repercussions for that person. Not only did the entire police force that were putting their lives on the line face attacks by this hero and the entire media narrative, but these men and women that are putting their lives on the line had to go back to their friends, family, and their lives after being accused of being racist by one of the most popular sports figures in football. And then with this hanging over their heads, 1 month later, they actually did respond to a true act of horror at the Las Vegas shooting event. And I do think it is laughable that the NFL is struggling to find out why are our ratings dropping. And I think anyone looking objectively at the timelines between the NFL drop in ratings follows pretty closely with the new Democratic Party's campaign policy of pushing identity politics, using specifically racism to divide people into specific voting bloc categories. People have claimed that violence is the problem. Let me ask you this. Anytime watching football growing up, did you think it wasn't violent? Some people say it was doping, using steroids. Let me see, how long has this been going on? 30 years, and yes, it is still illegal, a banned substance in the NFL. NFL ratings were strong because it was unifying. It didn't matter your race, class, or gender. If you were on our team, we could rally behind you. If you were playing our sport, we enjoyed watching you. With the left infecting the NFL and weaponizing racism, it divides Americans. It pits Americans against each other, and people are choosing not to partake in the madness. Let me just help you, ESPN and NFL. We don't want our sports heroes to be liars that claim victim status for running from the police, who then spend so much time blaming all faults on racist white men before sacking a white quarterback and throwing up a black power fist and then taking a knee during our national anthem. If there's one thing I hope stays out of 2018, it's that these mainstream media outlets don't let these corrosive stories go unchecked and unvetted and let them permeate our society. Please don't. I'm Ben Davies, this is Pure Hollywood. Alright, if you like this video and others like it, please consider becoming a premium member to The Rebel. That way you'll have first access to Pure Hollywood and the entire Rebel lineup.